people that waited in line just to share this experience of Venom, Candyman, Night of the Living Dead, The Rock, Final Destination. But I want you to know you are now entering the
Cinema
Chop Shop with a top and a pop. Boom, boom, bop.
The Cinema Chop Shop.
What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, and the subscribe button. And today I'm here to review Acolyte, the last episode. I believe it's episode 8. Now, this show has been a roller coaster of emotions, a roller coaster of critiques, a roller coaster of just everything under the sun. And me personally, I think that this show it's not the greatest show, but do I think it deserves the hate that it's getting? Probably not. But we're going to go ahead and get into that. So this episode finally wraps up this TV series. And the one thing that I found the most confusing about this show is the simple fact that they kept going back and forth. The showrunner's like, yeah, this is only meant to be one season. Yeah, then we did some other stuff because we wanted to make it a season 2. Or we had to compact some stuff because we're only going to get one season and it wasn't supposed to be, rekindled. So I've honestly been super confused by this show. It really feels like they thought they were going to get a season 2, and because of the lashback from the fans, that they were just like, yeah, it looks like we're probably not going to get it, which makes sense, because again, this show is widely hated. But does it deserve the critique? I think that there are valid reasons why the show probably isn't that good, but what people are complaining about, it's minuscule. To me, it's minuscule thing. So anyway, this episode basically wraps up the season with May and Osha, the freaking Sith dude, and also Soul. We finally figure out what's the turning point here. We finally get the final conclusion, the final arc of all of these people, right? And if you guys been kind of following my reviews or the things that I speak about, I kind of called it from the beginning when I said, you know what, I already know that Osha is going to go to the dark side, and we're going to kind of have a flip, right? Now, did that exactly happen? Sort of, 50 percentile, right? Osha did go to the dark side, but at the same time, her sister got her memory wiped, and now she is just a nobody, right? But I kind of always felt like it was going to be that way, that freaking Osha was always going to be the stronger one. They played her up. It's really typical writing. You play somebody up to be super weak. They can't do anything, whatever. Then all of a sudden, they just become this super OP character. It's happened a lot throughout all numerous kinds of movies. It's not unheard of. You get what I'm saying? It's super cliche. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying, the storytelling and the writing is very basic. It's very formulaic. It's very predictable. And that's, to me, where this show kind of where it kind of falls apart. But I wasn't necessarily bored watching this show. It kept me invested. It kept me interested. It's only 30 minutes, so that was a plus. And it just kept going. And, I mean, again, I don't think it warrants the hate that it gets. There's some horrible things like main characters or Jedis that you really want to see what they can do and how they can handle themselves. They get killed off screen, and they kind of get downplayed, and it makes you feel like, well, what was the freaking point of building up this Jedi if you were just going to say that they were whack? And then you also have plot holes in it, okay, if Master Soul was this great Jedi that basically defeated Buckethead, right, the other Sith dude, if he was able to beat him so easily, then why didn't he do that in the forest and save all them other Jedis if you were capable of doing this shit since the beginning? Which really, really bothered me. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about with the inconsistency in the storytelling in this show. That's what really makes this show bad. It's not about all the little other things that people get mad about and they get pissed about and they whine about and they nag about. It's none of that shit. It's really just the storytelling. The fact that you knew you had 8 episodes to impress people, but you chose to use 2 of those episodes for filler. That's a bad choice. You get what I'm saying? You gotta you gotta pick and choose what you do wisely. You have 8 episodes to impress people. You might want to do the best that you can to kind of do that. You know what I'm saying? We finally find out what May and Osha are, and I mean, I've been saying that they're probably like test tube babies and shit, but it turns out that they were 2 of the same person that was created by the Force. Now, a lot of people are going to be pissed off. Well, what the hell, you know? See, this throws away Anakin. Anakin was supposed to be the only one. He was supposed to be the chosen one, so on and so forth, right? But then you see a cameo from a specific character, and that specific character, I believe, is Darth Plagueis, right? Darth Plagueis, who was told to Anakin to be able to kind of like create life and kind of like escape death type shit. Like, we knew that this character kind of was able to use the Force or kind of manipulate the Force in order to kind of bend to his will, when at least in regard to life and death. And we see that character's kind of lingering around that planet, so we know that he's present, so that we know that he has a footprint inside this storyline. So now that we know that he has a kind of a footprint inside the storyline, why, like, it's starting to make more sense why these characters were created. We already know that he kind of tinkered in the dark arts and shit like that, and he's done weird things like this. We know that this exists, so now can we necessarily be mad, right? It's going. I feel like this show, even though, again, I'm not a super big Star Wars head, you know, I talk with people that are Star Wars heads, and you know, I question them, and I do my own research, and a lot of this show seems to just pull from different source materials, different lores, different books, and stuff like that. And I really felt like that's what fans would want, right? Again, I'm a casual. I'm not like a super big nerdy Star Wars fan. I'm not like a dweeb, you know? But I'm just a casual Star Wars fan. I'm watching the show. I want to see lightsabers. I want to see the Sith. I want to see the Jedi. And as long as you can tell a cohesive story, I'm in, right? And that was the problem with shit like Boba Fett. Like, I felt like you had a really cool character with Boba Fett, but then you kind of ruined them because now you got a boring ass storyline, and that show didn't compel to me. This show to me was more entertaining than Boba Fett, you know, and I didn't even know Boba Fett had a second season. I've yet to watch what's her name? The two fucking Ahsoka. I've yet to watch Ahsoka yet. I've heard bad things about it, but at the same time, I'm willing to watch it and kind of give my own critique on it. But in honest opinion, the show isn't horrible. I feel like it has the blueprint to actually do something cool, but I don't think that it's ever going to be able to do it because that shit was review bombed like crazy. People hated this shit. People talked about it. They shitted on it. I mean, this episode probably been out for milliseconds, and they probably already bombarded Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, every freaking review site already, and said that it was trash. But we do get a cool little lightsaber battle between Soul and Senor the Buckethead. You know what I'm saying? They kind of get into it, and I thought that was a pretty cool lightsaber battle. They did this freeze frame matrixy kind of shit. I wasn't really a huge fan of that, but at the same time, it was cool to see lightsaber battles. I mean, I feel like this show really did the lightsaber battle thing real cool. I was expecting shit like that in Obi-Wan and stuff like that, and we didn't get it. So it really bothered me that, you know, we got it in this show, but we didn't get it in Obi-Wan, you know. But I gotta give the show credit. Most of the fight scenes in the show, when they do happen, they're pretty damn good. As far as May and Osha's character, I didn't really kind of like. I didn't really relate to them. I didn't really feel like compelled. I didn't really care for them, but I did like the Sith Lord, the Asian guy. I don't really know his name. The Traveler, the dude that makes the poison, whatever his name is. Out of all the characters on the show, him and Master Soul were probably the most two interesting characters. I didn't too much care for Osha. I didn't too much care for May. Now, I did like May when she had the mask on and she was like on her Assassin's Creed shit. I thought she was a really cool character. But outside of that, once you kind of dwell and dive outside of it, it gets a little bit stale. She got a little bit boring. She got a kind of a little bit annoying. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I think the show is all right. I felt like if given the opportunity, this can truly kind of make itself something cool. But we're never going to get it because that shit was review bombed. And I doubt that it's going to get greenlit for a season 2. And that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think that the showrunner did a bad idea by giving us 2 episodes of filler. I get why we had the flashback episodes that made sense. They made things made sense. That's cool. But there was 2 episodes of filler, and that shit threw me off. I don't understand why they did that. The last episode felt a bit rushed because they knew that they had to kind of like hurry up and get it along. They gave us a 43-minute episode this time, in opposed to like the usual 30-minute episode runtime. And honestly, that episode probably should have been an hour just to kind of help out with the pacing, because again, everything feels so abrupt. But again, it's super predictable. It's very predictable writing, but it's not bad writing. Predictable writing doesn't always mean bad writing, right? It just means that you got to think a little bit harder. You can make this a good show, but it's going to take a lot. And honestly, the show's already been tarnished, and I doubt that it's really even going to be given the opportunity to even try to be a good show. People already don't like the main chick. I forgot her name already. After she did that video or whatever, like going like this and shit, people ain't fucking with it. So this show's probably not going to get a season 2. But it sucks because it kind of was on to something. But, that's all I got to say. I think the show, it could have been good, pretty mediocre. But it had moments of being a decent show. And it's honestly better than Boba Fett. I had a whole lot more fun with it. I had a lot more fun with it than freaking a lot of the other Star Wars projects. Most of the freaking, the Rey trilogy, this was better than the Rey trilogy. This was better than Lando to me. I think I didn't like Lando. I thought that was a boring ass movie. I mean, so just the things that I've seen so far, I felt like this had a lot more potential than all of it. But again, we're never going to see that potential actually reach because people shit on the show, they didn't like it. So, hey, that's all I got. Let me know if you agree or disagree, whatever the case may be. Drop it in the comment section down below. And you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys have a magnificent day. And adios, homie.
I want to play a game. Subscribe now. The choice is yours. You're now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop.